everyone, I'm Rudrani and welcome to Speak Easy. My guest today is, of course, your friendly neighborhood superhero, but he's also an amazing, amazing actor. I don't think it's possible that you don't love him. I'm talking about, of course, Tom Holland. Thank you. Welcome to the show and welcome to India, which you've already been there physically.
Yes, I have. I had a wonderful trip. Thank you.
Thank you, but I wish you would have done this in person, but not too bad doing this like this. Before I get into more details about that wonderful Danny that you've played, I want to know, how was your trip? How was it? You and Zendaya came here. I think everybody, the paparazzi, everybody was so excited. So we loved, I think, the appearances, and I know that you always wanted to come to India. So how was that finally?
It was a trip of a lifetime. I've always wanted to come to your beautiful country, and I'm delighted to say that I'm excited to come back. You know, we had a great time. It was really informative and really beautiful, and we met some amazing people. We had some wonderful food. We got to see the wonderful, Ambani Cultural Centre that they've set up there, which is, an amazing place to educate yourself in Indian culture and just how influential it is around the world. Yeah, I had a wonderful time.
You met so many people. Any Indian actors and Indian movies that you particularly now watched or you watched in the past?
I did actually recently watch that RRR film, and I loved it.
It was amazing, wasn't it?
Yes, it really was.
Coming back to the amazing act with Danny that you've done. I read how you got so attached to the character, Tom, that at some point you thought that, should I shave my head off just to dissociate with it or do something crazy like that? So there are two parts of the question. A, tell me what happened there. How did you deal with it and why that happened, you think? And the second part of the question is, are you able to dissociate from your characters? Has this happened to you in the past as well?
That was, I told that story and it was a print interview and I was kind of joking. It did cross my mind that one day in the shower that maybe I should shave my head off to give myself a bit of a breath from Danny. Obviously, I didn't do so because I'm a professional and I wouldn't want to cause my poor makeup artist any more work than necessary. But I've always been really good at disassociating from my characters. I don't become them, I play them. So it wasn't something I found that difficult. I just wasn't used to a show going on for as long as The Crowded Room did. I've always done film, and film is much shorter. So I dealt with it in my own ways. I managed to figure it out eventually, and ultimately, I'm really proud of how we all handled ourselves during this show because it was incredibly tough.
I also found that you find that balance between doing the big, the Spider-Man, the big action movies, and doing characters like this. They're so deep, so empathetic, and emotionally distraught. I want to know how you've kind of come to this place where you've done both the worlds so beautifully.
Thank you. I guess it's just a strategic decision as to when and where to do certain projects and how to, maximize your time so that you don't get put into one box and to test yourself and to, stretch yourself as an actor in different ways. And The Crowded Room was the perfect way to do so.
Thank you so much. That's all the time I have, but hopefully a long one. So when you come next time to India, Tom. Thank you so much. We love you here and all the very best.
Thanks very much.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rudrani and welcome to Speak Easy. My guest today is extremely talented. They might have tried to put her in a box, but she never let that happen, with amazing choices and fearless ones at that. I'm talking about, of course, Amanda. Hello.
Hi, thanks for that. That's really nice.
Absolutely true, everywhere.
That's so nice.
And welcome to Zoom TV and welcome to India.
Thanks. Thank you very much. Thanks for having me. I wish I was actually there.
For real next time. We're going to do this sitting right.
I know. I've never been. I'm bucket list. My kids are older. I promise. You can bring me in.
I hope so. But it's what I meant was absolutely true in the beginning. I feel like it is easy sometimes for some people to see you a certain way, and when that works for you, for actors particularly, to hope that you keep doing that. And I think the biggest struggle for actors, and particularly who really want to act, is to break that and tell somebody that I want to do completely something crazy that you couldn't even imagine. That I know even you had to go through.
Thanks. Well, that's the thing. In order to really have longevity, I think people just have to keep believing you in your character. And so that's what I tried to do. I just tried to pick something else. When I got more opportunities as I've gotten older in my career, work begets work, right? Which is the thing. So I was lucky enough to get work, and then I was lucky enough to have opportunities to be able to choose what I was doing next. And it was always like, oh, this will be surprising. This is surprising. This is not the what a lot of my peers were choosing, and that's what I was doing for a while. And then I got into a place where people were able to trust me in roles that they wouldn't have necessarily if they hadn't seen that I had range. You have to show your range. It's just like people try to put you in a box. There's so many people where you're like, oh, she hadn't done that role, I wouldn't have seen her in this role. You know what I mean? It's just like you just got to give people a chance to surprise you. And now it's like this role, Raya, was so vastly different from Elizabeth Holmes, which was the last role I had played before this. And so I was like, great. I'm playing a compassionate mother, professor, ambitious in her career, someone who's investigating a crime, sitting with this kid who she doesn't know, trying to get the truth out of him, trying to manipulate the truth out of him. It's just like there's so many things happening that felt so very different from the last thing I did. It was exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. And you were amazing in Dropout, by the way. The rapport with Tom also helps because a lot of your scenes, you're probably among the only ones who has a little empathy for Danny, along with the manipulation that you're trying to do with him. Very, very few people have that, right? You're judged for it. I want to know how that played out for you and did the rapport help?
It's interesting. Like some of that stuff was the toughest stuff to shoot because we were in a room for 2.5 weeks, 3 weeks. And some of it was so nice because it was so cozy and like we were just together and we were like we are giving in this such stillness because the show moves so fast and then all of a sudden you're still with these two characters who are getting to know each other and it's a little bit like cat and mouse, but they really actually care about each other and they're really the only relationship in the show that becomes really stable and long lasting. Like they trust each other, they care, they love each other by the end. So it's like you need to grow this over time. You need us. It's like we need to give the audience little like carrots every scene. And it was so hard in some ways, but also so nice to have this coziness together. And, between takes, it was just fun and comfortable.
I could see that. 100%. I could see that. But thank you so much. And I hope we get to see you in India. Sending you lots of love.
Thank you. You too. Thank you so much.
Hi. Hello, everyone. I'm Radrani and welcome to Speak Easy. My guest today is so talented. And I'm going to shamelessly say this, that I absolutely love her. I have to do that. Of course, I'm talking about beautiful Amy Rossum. Hello. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thanks.
And welcome to India.
Thank you.
We hope we get to do this in person someday. But for now, this will do.
Okay.
It's amazing, particularly also because, you're not really older to Tom. And I think there was, you were absolutely okay playing this part of the mother where you bring so much empathy and there's so much that mama bear protectiveness that you see. Tell me why that was important for you, and I think it's a fearless choice.
The character of Candy was so fascinating as conceived by Akiva in the script. We watch her age from 25 to 35. We watch her, this playful young single mom of this 8-year-old boy who is artistic and talented and imaginative and troubled. And we watch that she is afraid for him and protective of him. And ultimately, the relationship and the decisions that are made and the family secrets that she holds, that they hold, is what kind of erodes their relationship over time. And so getting to play that with the young actor Zachary Gollinger and then getting to play those scenes with Tom as well towards the end, it was really a journey getting to embrace all aspects of the character. And I think ultimately the revelations that we learned about mother and son, how similar the ways in which they have both survived this world. She says at one point, the world is a cruel place. And I think that is a very emotional sorrowful place to be existing from.
I've always wondered, you're a mother, you have 2 children, and does that help when you play characters like that? Does it scare you sometimes, when you think like that as an actor, when you're playing characters like this, and, you automatically think of your children?
Of course, sure. I think, becoming a parent and having your kind of heart suddenly exist outside of your body, all the fears that come not only for your children, but the ways in which ultimately you worry you will fail your children. I think your own shortcomings as a person, as a parent, as a human. I think we're all just trying our best, and I think having empathy for yourself, for the characters you get the opportunity to play. I think that's it's a challenge for sure.
I mean, because you got so much love, was it difficult for you to break from Shameless when you did? Because fans just didn't want to. They were heartbroken. But you as an actor want to do different things. I want to know a little on that. Was it difficult for you?
Sure. I think anytime you love your cast and you love a character as much as you do, it's so hard to let go. But I think at the same time, when a character has reached the end of its journey emotionally in a satisfying way, it is satisfying to end there. Ultimately, I feel like where Candy and Danny end up in that final episode, although it's kind of Shakespearean and tragic, there is finally kind of an embracing of the truths in both of their lives, and maybe a healing that comes from that. So ultimately, I found also that the end of this series felt like they had both reached their kind of emotional catharsis in a way that felt satisfying.
All right. In that note, thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's lovely chatting with you, Emmy.
Thank you so
And
much.
sending you lots of love.
Thank you so much.